So go ahead and we will begin on our backs for today. You can rest with the legs out, a la Shavasana, or you can walk the feet back and knock the knees together like collapsed bridge pose, but we'll center on our backs before we begin with some dynamic bridge. So find your specific shape, whatever you find most comfortable to rest here. Release the spine, the shoulders, the head all onto the floor. I'm going to leave my knees bent. So again, two options, legs straight if that's comfortable, or knees bent and slightly in. You can walk the feet a little wider to make that internal rotation a little easier. And land here. Think about the events of today that brought you here to your mat. What's been going on, how your physical body has been feeling, how your mind has been feeling, if it's running all over the place or if it's fairly stable at the moment. Honoring the ebbs and flows, knowing that it's okay if it may change from one 10-minute period to the next. Just be aware of the shape of the body. Observe your relationship to stillness. Maybe it's a little uncomfortable. Maybe it's a little foreign these days. Feel where your body rests into the floor. Soften through the jaw, the throat. Relax the hands and feet. Let go of any effort you can. And if you'd like, thinking back to your day so far, how it's been, what's been going on, think about what the remedy or the antidote would be to your day or to your mood. Think about what word, what phrase, what feeling would help balance out what's been going on. And letting yourself land, offering this next hour or so just for yourself, to take care of yourself, to move, to strengthen, to stretch, whatever it is you came here to receive. This intention can be devoted to that act of receiving your practice for you. Begin to deepen the breath. Take it a little longer, a little more slowly. Expand down into the whole trunk of the body. Breathing into the upper chest, lower rib cage, down into the navel. And notice how the shape of the body may change as you expand the breath and release it. And expand the breath all the way out into the arms, into the legs, toward hands and feet. Start to move the fingers and the toes. Start to walk the feet back, bend the elbows, hug both knees up into the chest. 3 times, and more with the navel than with the arms. As you exhale, curl up, take the forehead up toward the knees, knees toward the forehead. So maybe you don't even need the arms, but they're there to help if you want them. Inhale, release shoulders and head back. As you exhale, anchor navel to spine, spine toward floor, curl up. Inhale, release shoulders and head back. Exhale, navel back, navel strong, curl up. Inhale, release back. Keep the left knee into the chest. Keep the navel tacked back toward the spine. Inhale, extend the right leg out only as far as we can keep the low back to the floor. Exhale, right knee back into the chest, both knees in. Left leg, inhale, extend out, left foot flexes away, navel stays strong. Exhale back to the chest. Notice if your pelvis wants to tip or twist as we extend one leg, making it asymmetrical. Inhale, extend right leg out, pelvis stays stable. Exhale back to the chest. Left leg, inhale, extend out, foot flexed away. And exhale back in. One more each. We'll add curling up again like we did with both knees. Inhale, right leg out. Keep it out, staying here. Exhale, navel strong, curl up toward left knee. Inhale, release shoulders and head back. And exhale, right knee, both knees to chest. Left leg, inhale, extend out, keeping it out. Navel strong. Exhale, curl up to right knee. Soften shoulders and head back. And left knee, both knees to chest. Plant the soles of the feet onto the floor, feet about hip width or so. Press the backs of the shoulders into the ground, arms down on either side of the torso. As you inhale, raise the hips, raise the arms, spine slowly curls off the ground. Keep this slight strength in the navel as the hip creases and the tops of the legs lift. Exhale, release spine, arms, hips all back down to the floor, trying to sync the length of the lift and the length of the lower. Inhale, raise up. Inhale, lasts for the whole length of movement. Exhale, release, lasting once again until we land. 2 more of each on your own. And after the next time we land our exhale, keep the navel back. Take the soles of the feet up to the ceiling. Take the arms up over the shoulders. We'll go one limb at a time. Try again to keep the pelvis, the core, stable. Inhale, extend your right arm back around the ear like it was previously. Exhale, lift it up. Navel stays so strongly back, maybe it even feels like the tailbone lifts a little bit. Inhale, extend the left arm back alongside the ear. Exhale, lift up. Left leg, maybe we lower just halfway, maybe 45 degrees or so, low back stays. Exhale, lift up. Right leg, inhale, lower about halfway, 45 degrees. Exhale, lift. And if you'd like, one limb at a time again, or add on opposite limbs. So just right arm or right arm and left leg. Inhale, lower. You can lower both just halfway. Make sure low back stays. Exhale, lift up. Just left arm or left arm and right leg, single or opposite limbs. Exhale, lift up. Just left leg or left leg and right arm. Exhale, lift. Ooh, shaking a little bit. Just right leg or right leg and left arm. Exhale, lift up. One more round of single limbs or 2 more rounds of opposite limbs. Right arm only or right arm and left leg. Exhale, lift back up. Keep the low back down. Just left arm or left arm and right leg. Exhale, lift. Left leg only or left leg and right arm. Exhale, lift up. Right leg only or right leg and left arm. Exhale, lift up. Nicely done. Hug the knees into the chest. Let the navel relax a little bit. Let the arms do some of the work. Rock a little from side to side. And plant the left footprint onto the floor. Cross the right ankle over the top of the left thigh for figure 4. Staying here with the right knee actively away, or if you'd like, pick up the left foot, add on. We can stay hands free, keeping the legs strong and active, or make it passive by holding on to left hamstring, or maybe lean up a little farther to hold on to the front of the left shin. And keeping the breath nice and slow, nice and relaxed in every held pose. Knowing that the mind will not let the muscles relax or release if it feels like there's danger or tension. Breathe so the body knows it's okay in the shape. If it's not, change the shape. Release the left foot and the right foot back to the floor. And switch, please. Left ankle over the right thigh. Left knee actively away. We can stay here or pick up right foot, keeping it active, or make it passive, holding onto the back of right hamstring. And release right foot and left foot back to the ground. Hug both knees back up into the chest. Tuck the hands underneath the knees into knee creases, keeping the navel hugged back, mindful of this strength. Know we can keep that even as we inhale. Rocking a couple times, head to tailbone. Rock your way up into a boat pose. Navel stays back and strong as chest starts to lift. So it seems like they're kind of opposite actions. But as we do this, as we try to lift the chest, as we try to firm the navel back, everything works around the sheath of the trunk to keep this whole portion of the body stable and strong. If you think about what action is occurring in the chest and the navel, these are the pieces of our best posture. And shift forwards. Take the soles of the feet together. Come into diamond pose, please. Heels away from the hips. Hands can hold on to the front of the shins or the front of the knees. Lift up and out of the low back. Hinge at the hips to fold forwards. Hands can walk to the feet or perhaps past the toes. Walk the hands over to the right, perhaps in front of right shin or just on the right calf. Even as the left hand starts to reach away, be mindful of if the left knee or hip start to clench in response. Keep them low to the floor. And walk your hands over to the left, please, in front of left shin or just on or inside left calf. Right side, right leg stays relaxed toward the floor. Walking the hands back to the center. Go ahead and lift back up. Take the knees toward one another. Shift forwards onto hands and knees. Coming into tabletop. As you inhale, lift the chest to cow pose. Shoulder blades down the back. Heart lifts forwards. As you exhale, navel hugs in. Move the hips back to the heels for child's pose. Arms staying active, pressing the hands into the floor so we shift. It's always at 5:15. Always at 5:15. I swear to you, there's a dog walker that we'll plug back in a second. Inhale forwards to cow pose, lift the chest. Child's pose, hips back toward heels. This time, stand onto the knees. Inhale, raise all the way up, hips forwards over knees, chest lifts, hands up overhead. Take the elbows wide, exhale, open the chest, goalpost back bend. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold, hands down around the floor, coming back into child's pose. Inhale forwards, cow pose, lift the chest. Tuck the toes, back to down dog, about 3 breaths here. On your inhale, knees back to the floor, back to cow pose, lift the chest. Child's pose, hips back to heels. Standing onto the knees, inhale, raise all the way up, hands overhead. Elbows wide, goalpost back bend. Exhale, open the chest, keeping the navel strong as we lean back. Inhale, raise up. Arms forwards alongside the head, back to child's pose, slow lower. One more round, forwards to cow. Tuck the toes, back to down dog. About 3 breaths. Knees to the floor once more, cow pose, lift. Child's pose, hips back toward heels. Stand onto the knees, raise all the way up. Navel strong, goalpost back bend, elbows wide, exhale. Inhale, raise all the way up. Slow lower, back to child's pose. Forwards to cow. Tuck the toes, down dog. Pedaling the feet, about 5 breaths here. After your exhale, walk, step, or hop forwards. Come into a half lift at the top of your mat. Inhale to lift the chest, heart forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, hands up overhead, goalpost back bend once again, elbows wide. Exhale, open the chest. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, spine long. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step your right leg back to crescent lunge. Right hand stays to the floor. Inhale, left arm lifts, revolve, runner's lunge, left hand high up over the shoulders. 3 times as you exhale, reach the left arm forward alongside the ear, lengthening from right heel to left hand. Inhale, raise back up, arm stacks up over shoulders. Exhale, reach forwards, long from right heel to left hand. Inhale, open, palm in the same direction as the chest. Exhale, reach forwards. Inhale, lift back up. Release the left hand down outside left foot. Set the right knee to the floor. Move the hips back, kneeling pyramid, beginning to fold over left leg. We can keep a little bend in the knee. The knee does not have to be all the way straight. Letting the knee bend will allow you to actually fold forwards. Straightening the knee all the way might cause you to lift the chest a bit more. Bending back into the left knee, hands land. Straighten the right knee off the floor. Inhale, left leg back to 3-legged dog. Lift straight back through the heel, through the inside seam of the leg. And down dog, release to the floor. Inhale to a plank or kneeling plank. Stay to breathe here. Shoulder blades down the back. Think of dropping the chest in between the shoulders. Widen the collarbones. And exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Low cobra, float the chest. Pull the elbows back. Pull the shoulders back. Strong through each side of the spine. And as you exhale, release. Press through knees or toes. Back to downward facing dog. We can shorten the stance. Plank and down dog might need 2 different lengths between feet and hands. Then after your exhale, walk, step, or hop forwards. Half lift back at the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, raise all the way up, hands overhead. Elbows wide, goalpost. Exhale, open the chest. Inhale, raise the arms back up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Fold, plant the hands, left leg back, runner's lunge. Left hand stays. Inhale the right arm up, revolve twist. Raise the right arm high up over the shoulders. 3 times exhale, lengthen right arm forwards alongside the ear. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach forwards, long line between left heel and right hand. Inhale, raise. Exhale, reach forwards. Lift up. Release the right hand outside right foot. Set the left knee to the floor and we'll come into kneeling pyramid, moving the hips back. Again, you can start already in our fold, torso already connected to the leg, only moving the hips back as far as we can keep the contact between the chest or navel and the leg. And bend back into the right knee, hands frame the right foot, straighten left knee off the floor. Inhale, right leg back to 3-legged dog. Again, lift through inside seam, toes pointed toward floor. And down dog, release. Plank or kneeling plank, stay to breathe here. Bottom of the shoulder blades, stay hugged into the back. Think of lifting the chest forwards, navel back. Same kind of counter strength as in our boat pose. Chest lifts, navel back. Elbows hug the rib cage. Exhale, lower all the way down. Low cobra once again. Pull the shoulders back. Shoulder blades dip back as we lift the chest. Breathing. And release. Hands around rib cage. Move back to down dog. Walk, step, or hop forwards. Half lift at the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Raise all the way up, hands overhead. Goalpost back bend again, elbows wide. Exhale, open the chest. Inhale, raise the arms. Fold, plant the hands. Step your right leg back. Crescent lunge, legs strong. Inhale to stand all the way up. Chest lifts away from the left thigh, arms raise. Twisting right arm forward, left arm behind. Heart forwards, inhale, lift the arms back up. Twist again, right arm forward, left arm behind. Inhale to raise. Twist once more. Heart forwards, lift the arms. Hands land down around left foot. Taking the right heel to the floor. Same as we did before, this time taking our standing pyramid instead of kneeling. Chest can stay onto the left leg as you begin to move the hips back. Begin to straighten left knee as we fold. And exhale, bend back into the left knee, runner's lunge, back heel off. Inhale, left leg back to 3-legged dog, opening the hips if you'd like. Turn the left hip open over the right, lifting through the outside seam of the left leg. We can bend the knee if you'd like, but do remember to keep lifting through the outside of hip and knee. Inhale, level hips, straight back to 3-legged dog, and down dog, release. This time, inhale to plank or kneeling plank. Lower, take your preferred vinyasa. Chest can move a little forward of the thumbs, lowering halfway or all the way, coming into up dog or low cobra. Navel strong, moving you back to down dog. After your exhale, walk, step, or hop forwards, half lift at the top of the mat. This time, interlace hands behind the back, open the chest and the shoulders. Remember which thumb is on top. And fold forwards, torso onto the tops of the legs, bending the knees as much as you'd like. Inhale back up to a half lift. Hands release to knees or shins. Exhale, fold. Raise all the way up. Hands overhead. Again, navel stays strong, hugging back. Elbows wide. Goalpost back bend. Inhale to raise the arms and forward fold. Half lift. Fold, plant the hands, left leg back, crescent lunge. Inhale to stand up, take the navel away from the right leg. 3 times twisting, left arm forward, right arm behind. Inhale, raise up, heart lifts, hands lift. Navel draws back, strength into the core as we twist to the right again. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale all the way up. Hands land down around right foot. Pyramid pose, step the left foot forward slightly so we can ground left heel. Beginning to fold as we start to straighten right knee. Noticing what the hips do here. Notice if your right hip is trying to swing forward closer to the shoulder, sit the right hip back. Strengthen through left side. Left hip feels like it's moving forwards toward left shoulder. And bend back into the right knee, runner's lunge, back heel off. Inhale, right leg back to 3-legged dog, open hips, lift through the outside of the hip, outside seam of the leg. Bend the knee if you'd like, but keep that lift through the outside of the leg. Inhale, level hips, back to 3-legged dog, and down dog release. Inhale to plank or a kneeling plank, vinyasa of your choice, lowering your preferred back bend. And navel strong, back to down dog. Walk, step, or hop forwards, half lift at the top of the mat, remembering which thumb was on the outside last time. Interlace hands, opposite grip, open the chest, open the shoulders, and fold forward once again. Inhale back up to a half lift, hands to knees or shins. Exhale, forward fold. Raise all the way up, hands overhead. Hands to heart center. Shift your weight into the left leg, please. Bend the right knee up toward the height of the hip. If that is too much for today, we can tap a right big toe to the floor instead. If you'd like to add on, we'll have another option of this later. We'll hug the right knee up higher into the chest like we did in the beginning. Press the left foot to the floor to lift the right knee a little higher. And release the right foot back to the floor. Switch weight into the right leg. Hands can come to harder to hips. Floating left knee up toward the height of the hip. See if you can lift it as high as you can on its own without the help of the arms. And then go ahead and add in hands to the front of the knee or shin, hugging in a little higher. Press the right foot down, lift the left knee up. And release the left foot back to the floor. Inhale, arms up overhead. Fold, plant the hands. Step back to plank or a kneeling plank and stay to breathe here. Planting the right hand below the face, we'll tip into side plank. Your choice. We can keep both feet staggered or stacked. We can set right knee to the floor if you'd like to. I'd suggest this option instead of stepping left foot for now. 3 times as you exhale, reach the left arm forwards alongside left ear, curving even more. Inhale, raise up. Long curve through whole left side. Exhale, reach forwards alongside left ear. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale, reach forwards. One more lift up. And flip back to plank or kneeling plank. Breathing. And straight into the other side. Left hand below the face. Feet staggered or stacked, or again, we can drop the left knee. Exhale, reach right arm forwards, lengthen right side. Inhale, lift right arm back up over the shoulders. Twice more, exhale. Inhale, lift. Long, strong curve through right side. Inhale up. Release to plank or kneeling plank. 2 more breaths here. And exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Hands back around hips. Take the palms to the ground. Leave the palms to the ground. We can leave the chin to the floor or forehead, whatever is touching right now. And start to lift the front of the shoulder heads away from the floor. Pulling the shoulder blades or the spine into the back. Without lifting the head yet, go ahead and lift through the triceps. Lift as high, as strong as you can through the backs of the arms. Now keep them lifting. Keep this strength. Begin to lift the chest. Come up to our strong locust pose. Lift the legs as well. Shoulders stay pulling back. Arms stay pulling back. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. The video's not frozen. 2 more breaths. And exhale, hands around rib cage. Come back into a puppy pose. Press up to hands and knees and take a stance between hands and knees. It's a little too long for child's pose. Hands are a little more out in front of you. Allow hips to release back toward, but not onto the heels, so the chest suspends to the floor. Can take palms together or fingertips together. Bend the elbows so the hands begin to move behind the head. If that's too much, we can straighten the arms back out to the floor. And rebuild. Go ahead and come back up onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes back to down dog. On your inhale, extend the left leg back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, take a big step forwards. Hug the knee toward the nose. Long step forwards to warrior 2. Ground the right heel to the floor. Spiral the right arm behind. Left arm forwards. Keeping left knee bent over the ankle. And if we didn't step as long as we could have or as we needed to, feel free to adjust your feet. Inhale, arms up overhead. One of our new favorites. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms up. Exhale, lean in line with right leg. Start to move over left leg. From right foot to right hand, we have a fairly straight line. Breathing strong, navel back. Inhale, reach back, reverse warrior. Right hand to right leg, left arm lifts up. And we'll come into side angle. We can take our prompt variation or choose to come to the floor right away. Arms can stack or reach the right arm forward into extension like we have been in our revolved lunge and side plank. Legs strong. Press the left foot into the floor. Inhale, reverse warrior again. Exhale, spiral hands down around left foot, runner's lunge. Right hand stays to the floor. Inhale, left arm up, revolved runner's lunge again. Your choice, coming back to side plank if you'd like. Step the left foot straight back right away. Or we can come to plank first, step back, and then reopen to our side plank. Again, we can set the right knee down. We could step left foot forwards, take any additional variation. Back to plank or kneeling plank. Vinyasa if you'd like, or you're welcome to move straight back to down dog. On your inhale, take the right leg back to 3-legged dog. Exhale, big, long step forwards. Right foot lands below the chest. Ground the left heel, warrior 2. Left arm behind, right arm forwards. Legs strong, adjust the feet if you need to. Feel like the legs are pulling toward one another, helping cinch up, helping stand. Inhale, arms up overhead, interlace the fingers, palms up. Strong side angle, start to lean over the right leg. So from left foot to left hand, we begin to have more of a straight line. Legs strong. Inhale, reverse. Left hand to left leg. Right arm reaches up. And exhale, come into side angle. Your choice of variation, propped or right hand inside right foot to the floor or to a block. If you'd like, extend, long line between left foot and left hand again.
Leg strong, press the right foot into the floor. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, spiral the hands back down around right foot, runner's lunge. Back heel off, left hand stays. Inhale the right arm up for side plank. Breathing here. Thinking about how we will step back to our side plank. You're welcome to step the right leg straight back behind to meet the left, or runner's lunge, plank, and then reopen to side plank. Your choice of how you'd like to get there. And release to plank or kneeling plank. Your preference, straight back to down dog or vinyasa if you'd like. After your exhale, walk, step, or hop forwards, half lift to the top of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Raise all the way up, hands overhead. Hands to heart center. Shift your weight back into the left leg. Bend right knee up toward the height of the hip as we did before. Hug up through the navel. We can hold on to the right knee, lifting it up higher toward the chest. And now that we have it lifted, try to keep the leg there on its own without the hands. Return hands to heart center. Extend the right leg back, torso forward toward warrior 3. Chest lowers only as much as the right leg lifts. Lift through the inside seam of the right leg. Keep the toes, the knee pointed to the floor. And stand up. See if we can hug the right knee just as high into the chest. Hopefully that muscle memory starts to come back. And release the right foot to the floor. Woo-hoo-hoo. Switching sides, take just a moment if you'd like. I'd like. Hands to heart, shift weight into the right leg. Bend the left knee up toward the height of the chest. Use the arms, help it up a little bit more. Let it stay for a second here. And then try with the muscles of the legs to keep it there. Hands back to heart center. Left leg extends back, torso forward toward warrior 3. And bend the left knee back up. Try to lift it as high as we can. Strong, so not a spastic lift. Controlled lift, hugging high, 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 high. Release the left foot back to the floor. Nicely done. All right. Hands to the hips. Step back with the right leg. Come into a wide leg stance. Toes will stay directly in front of the heels, so no external, no internal rotation. Inhale the arms up overhead. And release the fingers once again, palms up. As you exhale, lean to the right slightly. So not triangle. Toes are in front of the heels still. Long line between left foot and left hand. Ribs in, navel strong. And start to slide the right hand down the right leg again, not triangle. Just a little bit farther. Stay strong, stay lifted, but with the right arm dropped, a little bit more of a challenge. It's not hard at first. And inhale, lift all the way up, interlace the fingers, palms up. And lean over to the left slightly. So right leg and right arm start to become in line. Toes in front of heels still. Still breathing. As you exhale, think of a right rib cage moving back. And slide the left hand down the outside of left leg, maybe lower just a little bit more. Just a little bit. And inhale, raise the arms back up overhead. Hands to the hips. This time, point the right toes to the back of the mat. Shrug the left heel back for triangle. My stance feels a little too long here. I will adjust. You do the same. Inhale, arms up to the height of the shoulders. Exhale, reach forwards. Right hand down to the shin, ankle, or floor. Same strength through the lowest ribs. Hug in. Keep it strong. And bend into the right knee slightly. Go ahead and stand back up. Hands up at the corners, toes in front of heels. Return hands to the hips. Pivot left toes to the front of the mat. Shrug the right heel back. Again, if our stance is too long or not wide enough, shift. Arms up to the height of the shoulders. Exhale, reach forwards, long through right side. Left hand sets down to the shin, ankle, or ground as right arm lifts. Ribs in, even if it means we have to come out a little bit to avoid dumping into the hip socket or a back bend. And a little bend into the left knee to stand up, hands back up at the corners, toes in front of heels. Interlace hands behind the back. Open the chest and the shoulders, hinge from the hips, and find our wide leg bound forward fold. If the bind is uncomfortable, if it's too much in the shoulders or neck, go ahead and release it and take the hands down to the floor, or maybe bind with big toes instead. Inhale to a wide leg half lift. Hands return to the floor below the face. Spine straight out in front. Pivot your left part and right toes a little wider than right heel. And walk the hands over to the right. Start to straighten left leg and sit back towards Skandasana or side lunge. If this is too much, if the knee is bending in, my foot just popped. Keep it wide. Try to not collapse. Try to not just make this shape of your butt sitting toward the floor. Try to allow for there to be a stretch through the inside of the leg. So if you'd prefer, come up onto the knee instead. Onto the foot instead. Wrong body part. And we'll switch sides. Straighten the right leg, walk the hands to the left, and come into Skandasana on the other side again. So the knee should not be forwards. Then the knee should not be inside the arms. We would like for their toes to be pointing out, external rotation through the hip joint, and the leg past the outside of left arm. So if it's not, maybe come up onto the top of the leg. And walk back through the center. And flip the feet back to our wide leg fold. Hands can walk back inside the line of the feet, or maybe walk farther back to the back long edge of the mat behind your heels. Playing with that slight balance point, that slight tip point. Be aware of your surroundings. If we're close to a wall or to a piece of furniture, if we find that tip, we get a little squirrely. Please be careful of any corners. Inhale back up to a wide leg half lift. Legs strong on their own. Take the hands to the front of the hips. Stand all the way up. From here, take the heels in, toes out for goddess pose. If our stance is too long, walk it back in. How do you know if your stance is too long? If we start to bend the knees and the knees collapse in, it's too long. Bring the feet back in so knees can stay over toes. Inhale the arms up. Goalpost arms, sit back. Knees wide over ankles, over toes. Press wide through the outside of the legs and the glutes. And take the hands onto the tops of the legs. Bring some strength into the arms so the legs don't have to work as hard. As you exhale, twist to the back of the mat. Drop your left shoulder. Navel hugs back as you twist. Inhale back to the center. Twist to the front of the mat. Drop the right shoulder. Inhale back to middle. Twist to the right, back of the mat. Inhale, center. Twist to the left, front of the mat. Back to the middle, legs strong. Stand all the way up, toes in front of the heels. And step the right leg back up to the top of the mat here. Last bit of our balance pose, and then to the floor. Hands to the heart again. Shift your weight into left leg. Bend right knee up toward the height of the chest. See how high we can lift it on our own. I need to back up a little bit. We are going to straighten the leg out in front. So if you need more room, feel free to step it back as well. Hug the right knee up toward the chest. Now, if you'd like, Keeping the leg lifted here, we can take hold, first 2 fingers around big toes, and start to straighten. Notice the angle of the hip joint. Even without the leg being straight, we've started to lift it higher. It does not matter if it's straight. If it goes straight, great. If it doesn't, we hang out right here. What I'd love to be straight is your spine. Lift tall through the left leg and the spine before we even care about that right leg being straight. Just like our pyramid, that knee can always be a little bent. This time, cross right ankle over the top of left thigh, and we'll start to take a fold. Fold the hands toward the floor. So we're coming into our figure 4 chair, but letting it be a more relaxed fold instead of a standing balance pose. Ends up being a little deeper of a stretch into the hip than figure 4 because we have the weight of the torso being pulled by gravity down into the hip, down toward the floor. Now, as we take the right ankle off, I'd love for you to use your left hand and gently slide the right foot off the knee and fold back to the floor. So we're not flinging the ankle to the floor. Inhale, half lift, spine strong here, navel hugs in, hands to the hips and stand all the way up. Other leg, other side. Hands to heart, please. And shift your weight into the left leg. Bend the right knee up, hugging it up strong as high. Weight into your right leg, pardon. Hug the left knee up as high as it is comfortable with its own strength. Add on a little assist with the hands, but then turn the muscles back on. Let the muscles remember how to keep the leg this high. Keeping it this high, go ahead and reach down if you'd like. If you'd like to add on, we can stay holding the knee, first 2 fingers around big toe. Do try to rotate the knee back under the elbow so the leg is bent underneath the left arm. Again, priority being a tall spine, right foot to the crown of the head, lift up. It's all right if that knee is bent. If it straightens, go ahead and let it straighten. If it's a little bent like our pyramid, let it be bent. Now, please cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh, starting to sit back toward our figure 4 chair, and then taking a fold, folding the chest toward the left calf. Hips can bend, or right knee can bend to sit the hips back a little bit. This will also take us a little closer to the floor if we're having troubles making it to the floor. We can also stay in our standing figure 4 instead. And please use the right hand to help the left foot back to a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Walk the hands out, walk the feet back, depending on where you're standing on your mat, back to a plank or kneeling plank, and lower all the way down. Take the right arm out to the side for shoulder roll, straight or goal post. Begin to roll onto right hip. Left knee can turn up. Left arm can reach back or keep both to the ground. And please roll back onto the chest. Switching, take the left arm out, straight out our goal post. Roll onto left hip, left side. Right limbs can reach back or stay. And roll back onto the chest. Hands around the rib cage, press up onto hands and knees. And we'll take a slow boat to make our way back onto your mat. So go ahead and crawl forwards a bit. Make sure as you look back behind you, the head will have a space to land in a moment here. So scoot yourself close enough to the front of the mat Tuck the hands behind the knees, and before we get lift off here, lift the chest a little bit, hug the navel back. So we're countering chest lifts, navel back. Begin to walk your feet back until we find that tipping point, that float. Then float the shins up. Arms can stay holding or come out to the side. Chest stays lifted, navel back. 2 more breaths here, and then we'll slowly curl our way down onto the floor. As you begin to curl, arms can reach forwards to help counter, scoop the navel. Start to slowly curl the spine back down onto the floor. And when we land, we'll hug the knees back into the chest. And keeping the right knee into the chest as we did in the beginning. Inhale to extend the left leg out. This time, go ahead and let the leg land. Hopefully this position has started to become a little more comfortable. If it's still a bit too much, lower the right knee down so it's more above the hip. Left hand to right knee, bring it across the body. Right arm can extend out, finding our twist. This is a deeper variation than when the legs are together. If you'd prefer that one, feel free to take that one. So either left leg straight, right knee bent and across, or both knees bent and across. Pressing the left arm into the ground, go ahead and roll back onto your back. Left hand can help take the right knee back up and into the chest, and left knee in as well. If your twist caused the hips to shift, feel free to shift them back to the center. Keep the left knee into the chest, and inhale, extend the right leg out. We can land. We can always slide left knee farther away to be able to land, and then find our twist. Right hand to the left knee, twisted across the body. Left arm can extend out to left side, or keep both knees together into our twist, your preference of leg position. Pressing the right arm into the ground. We can use the left hand or the right hand to help take the left knee back up, both knees back up, hug the knees to the Of course, I dropped my mic pack for Shavasana. It's okay. I just needed to turn it off and back on. Goodness gracious me. Release all the way onto your back. Find your preferred shape for Shavasana. Take any additional poses you'd like. Any additional figure 4, recline butterfly, happy baby. And completing your practice as you need. Take as much time as you need. When you're ready, release all the way onto your back. Just like the beginning, legs can be long. Maybe it's more comfortable now to have the legs long, or we can return to knees bent and knocking in. We're going slightly over time here. I apologize. Every exhale, release the back of the head, the arms, the trunk, and the legs, all into the floor. Exhales, release your practice, a very active practice, very strong, stabilizing practice. Notice the energy you may feel in the head. Notice what you may feel in the chest, in the navel. Aware of where you feel the breath the most. Aware of if there is a specific temperature you feel. maybe warm in any of these spaces, maybe cool, maybe buzzy. Simply being aware of how this practice made you feel. Allowing yourself to be the observer instead of the doer. Focus on one of these points, the head, the heart, or the navel. Whatever one you feel is easiest, whatever one resonates most right now. Perhaps the heat of the navel or the openness in the chest. And feel the shape change as you inhale and exhale. One or both spaces. Start to slow the breath. Less effort to the breath. Finding a more organic rhythm. It's all right if there's a pause between either half of the breath. And allow yourself to simply be. If you'd like, focus on your repeated intention, like a mantra. Feeling your intention throughout whole body. Every layer of the mind. Observing what it would feel like if this intention were already completely true, completely present. Taking this intention with you, begin to expand the breath back out into the torso, into the limbs, toward hands and feet. Breathing out toward fingers and toes. Begin to move the fingers and the toes. Bend the ankles and the wrists. Let the head rock from side to side. Bending the elbows. Walking the feet back to hug the knees into the chest. Giving the legs a squeeze. Be aware of anything on either side of you. Rolling to one side for a couple breaths. Pressing your hands into the floor, coming up to a tall seat. Spine stacked tall, hands back onto the tops of the legs. Once again, taking your awareness to that space in the breath, in the body, your awareness that resonated most, that was the most balancing to your day and practice, the easiest thing for you to come to remind you how to get back toward this state of peace, of clarity, of calm, of stability. Taking this intention with you, please bring your hands together at heart center, bowing your head to your chest, acknowledging your breath, your peace, and all that you are. Namaste. Thanks, guys.
Hi guys, thanks for practicing with me today. If you'd like to see more videos, if you'd perhaps like to see more of Miko's arm being shoved under the door, I'll link a couple right here. I'll link my page. I'll link the most recent series or video. And subscribe if you'd like to let yourself know when I put out a new video. What do you think, Miko? Do you think that's a good idea? I think that's a good idea.